Hello and welcome to RCC Mathematics. My name's Matt Haugen. I'm one of the faculty here, and I want to give you a really quick introduction into logging into and setting up for MyOpenMath for the first time. So the first thing you're going to need is a course ID code and a um, enrollment key from your instructor. Those two things you should be able to find on your syllabus or on your instructor's Blackboard or maybe through an introductory email. So to get set up, we need to go to myopenmath.com, and that'll take us into our normal login page. From this page, usually you'll log in by putting your username and password in, but because this is our first time, we're going to need to register as a new student. When you do that, you'll have to give a username. This username needs to be unique to you. So it might say that username's already been taken. So if so, just find some variation of that. You need to choose a password, something you'll remember. If you do happen to lose or forget this password, you can ask us and we can reset it. First name, last name, whatever you would like to be called, and an email address. Do make sure this email address is something that you're checking regularly. I also want to say that you should keep this box clicked. It will allow you to get an email anytime MyOpenMath Messenger is used. A lot of your instructors will use MyOpenMath to communicate back and forth and ask you to use MyOpenMath Messenger to communicate back and forth. And this will send you an email to notify you when something is on MyOpenMath waiting for you. We need to agree to the terms of use, and then we can put in the course ID and enrollment key for your particular course. I'm going to use my sample course here, 70061, and my sample enrollment key, Math 111 Spring 20, and sign into the course. I'm not going to worry about saving that. And it's telling me I've already used that email account. Don't worry about that. And then it'll say, yay, your account with that username has been created. If you forget this password, it reminds you to email us and we can fix it. It says, hey, you've enrolled in this particular course. Awesome. And we can go and return to the login. So now you can put that username that you created and your password and log into your page. You can go ahead and save this one. This is the login that you'll usually use. This gets us to the portal that gets us to the MyOpenMath page. This says Math 111 Spring 2020. That's my sample course that I'm using here, but this should reflect whatever course ID and enrollment key you used to get you into your particular class. So this should be your particular class for your particular instructor. In the future, to enroll in a new course, you can just hit this link and put in a new course ID and enrollment key, and it will put you into that new course. Uh, so you don't have to do all the registration again, and then it will appear on a list here. So we're just going to go directly into this sample course to get a look at it. So this is kind of a default setup. Depending on your particular course and particular instructor, yours might look a little bit different. But a couple of things I want to point out. First, particularly with all the distance learning that's going on right now, make sure you read all these welcome messages and descriptions. Because we can't talk face to face, we need to put more information in these, and you've got to make sure you're reading them. So do please be careful and make sure you're not just kind of scanning through these. There can be important information in there. Some links off to the side here that are going to be important. Again, messages. Many of your instructors will use the MyOpenMath messengers to talk to you, and you can use them on MyOpenMath to talk with us. It's a nice way to talk to us because then anytime we log into MyOpenMath, we see, a direct link to which students in which courses are trying to talk to us. So it's a very nice way for us to stay organized. Your instructor might have a different way they want you to communicate with them, maybe through Blackboard or through direct email. Follow whatever lead they suggest. Let's see. Oh, but always feel free to email any of us directly if you have questions or concerns. One of the things that might be new for a lot of us is the forums. All your math courses should have discussion forums now. Some of you will be used to using discussion forums. Some of you, this might be new. That's okay. Some of you will like the discussion forums. Some of you won't, and that's also okay. But with our focus on distance learning now, even for the Zoom courses, being able to interact and use the discussions effectively is going to be even more important. So it'll be set up a little differently, again, depending on your particular class and instructor, but make sure you know that that's going to be a requirement for your courses. How it's set up and how they grade it will depend on that particular course setup. So be looking for that information on when and how and what you're going to have to do on the discussion boards. The calendar here links to this calendar down here. I'll talk about that in a second. The course map, I don't really recommend using. It gives you a link to all the different things that are in the course. It can be kind of an overwhelming bunch of information that's not terribly well organized, but it is there if you like interfacing with information that way. The grade book, fairly self-explanatory. It'll show you the grades for the work you've done on MyOpenMath. That will include any MyOpenMath assessments, any quizzes or tests that you do on MyOpenMath. Also, your instructor has options to upload scores onto this from non-MyOpenMath sources. So most, if not all, of your scores should be viewable here, though that is going to depend on how your particular instructor handles their grades. But you should certainly be able to see all of your MyOpenMath homework and any assessments done on MyOpenMath. Let's see, lastly here, log out when you're done. This help using MyOpenMath gives you a big, much more information than I'm able to go through here. So it's a good thing to look through if you're having trouble. Again, do read these welcome and information sections. It's going to be important as we go along. The calendar down here, you can also get to by hitting this calendar. We'll show different things depending on your course. Most of them should have the homework due dates listed on them. This one has the discussion forum dates listed on them and upcoming test information. How much information is on the calendar? Some will have more information, some will have less, depending on how the particular instructor sets up the course, but it is a good quick look on what's coming up. Down below is the important information for your course. This one has test dates listed. Not all of them will do that. How and when tests happen is going to depend again on your particular instructor. These big block links down here do though contain a lot of important information. Under the general course information tool, you'll often find things like syllabi or information on tutoring or tutorials. This is also where you'll find your first couple of assignments on this particular page. This also often has additional information, again, depending on what your instructor wants. For the rest of these block links, sometimes they'll be broken up by week, like these are. Some of them will be broken up by chapter. It depends on how they're set up. But all of them will have links to the different sections that we're covering. Again, do please read through all these introductions, to-do lists, and discussion week information. Often assignments will be listed in here. Make sure you read them and hopefully follow their advice. But the thing I really want to show you is under these section blocks, you've got a couple of important things. One, the topics list. This is nice, give you an overview of what the section is going to be talking about. But more importantly, these videos on the topics from the sections. These videos are short. Most of them are 10 to 12 minutes, and they go over some of the major topics in those chapters. They're not videos made by us here at RCC. They're from MyOpenMath through the textbook, but they do have good overall general information for your section. As you'll hear from your instructor, you should be reading your textbook and watching these videos before you do things like do homework, attend lectures. It's very good to look over these things first. You'll get much more out of the overall process. Many of your instructors will also be uploading their own videos and their own tools, which will either be here or be on Blackboard or be through some other source, but do know that these videos are here for us. And lastly, under the particular section is the homework. Your homework should have a due date on it. If it doesn't have a due date on it yet, then you can still go in and work the homework. So nothing's stopping you from it. So do be working ahead. It's good. If you're running late on getting a homework done, you can use a late pass that will extend the due date of the homework, usually about a day, depending on the particular setups. And you've got some fixed number of late passes that you'll be allowed to use. That can be a nice feature if you start kind of getting a little bit behind, but if you work ahead, you hopefully shouldn't have to use too many of those. Before you do any homework, though, let me suggest that you look at, under course information, this intro to MyOpenMath. That'll give you some help on how to navigate homework questions and how to enter answers in MyOpenMath. That can be very, very helpful for controlling the environment and using the right commands. Sometimes that is assigned as a piece of homework, but if not, it's still there. So it's a good thing to look at. Going into a particular homework assignment, this homework assignment's got 20 questions or 21 questions. Some homework assignments have less, some have more. This one's on the longer side probably. Depends on the course. But any of these questions that we go into, we will be able to look through them and answer some of the questions on them. So for example, this is a question on functions. This is specific to a Math 111 homework assignment. So your homework assignments for your particular class will certainly be different. But let's say we want to answer this question and we get it, let's say we get it wrong, and we try to submit those answers. Well, it's going to tell us, well, we got this one wrong and we got this one right. So it gives us half credit, 0.5 out of 1. So we got some credit, shows it here, that credit. If we want help, it'll link us to the video that they have for that particular section. So that's nice. If you're completely unsure what's going on here and you've looked at your resources and you need some other help, this message instructor about the problem is a really good link. It sends us an email so we can try to help you. Do try to tell us in those emails what you tried and what you're having trouble with. The more information you give us, the more helpful we can be. But overall, it's a really nice button to kind of get pointed help from us. But having submitted it and told we were wrong, we don't have to stop here. We can keep trying. We can put in, okay, maybe I think this is 86. Even if I change this one here to something else and try to submit that. Okay, now it's telling me both of those are wrong. But notice the gradebook still has that half point I earned before. So no matter what, as soon as you earn a point, it won't take it away from you ever again. We're going to try this problem one more time. And, oh, got it wrong again. What it'll do, again, notice this one's right, that one's wrong. We're still at that half point. But then because it was our third attempt, it tells us what the answers were. So we can try to figure out what it is we should have done and, see if we can learn from that. Maybe go check our notes, check some lectures, get some help. But we're not stuck with this half point on this problem. This try another similar question button will give us another version of this question 7. And then we can try it again. And we can keep doing this as long as we need to get as much credit out of this problem as we can. Every time we do 3 problems, or do it 3 times, and if it's wrong those 3 times, it will stop and tell us what the correct answer is. And again, ideally, we're not just doing them over and over again and hoping to get it right once. If you're not getting it right, talk to your instructor, look at your textbook, review your notes. But you can always come back and try it again until you find yourself more success. Speaking of which, we can even quit homework right in the middle. If we need to go check something out or go ask some questions or go to a study group, we can go completely out of this course, go do anything else, come back to the course. We can get to the homework from here too, by the way. Get back into the homework and notice that half point we made is still there. The last answers we put are still there. So you can start and stop, get in and out of homeworks all you want until you're comfortable with what the answers are. Oh, I need another similar one. Oh, yeah. Get another similar one. And ideally, once we get some practice and experience, we can get the questions right. So make sure you realize that you can try those questions over and over again. We love to see all these homework assignments at 100% by the time they're due. It is important to try to accomplish that, to make sure you're starting early so you can work some problems, find out where you're doing well and where you're struggling, get some help, get some reinforcement of the skills, and then go back and try to clean up the ones that you missed. So that is really nice and important to start your homeworks early and be working on them over time. Another little quick note here, you can print off. If you hit this print version, it'll give you a page that you can print out that has all the problems on it. So it's often nice to print them all out, go work on them by hand, and then come back to the computer and type in all your answers. The questions won't change. So you can just put all your answers in, and the ones you got right, yay, get yourself a cookie. The ones that you got, let's say, less right, you can do some research on and keep working on. So that's a real quick introduction to getting started on MyOpenMath. There are a lot of other videos and tools. Do look for this Intro to MyOpenMath to help you putting in answers and how it wants things rounded. So do make sure you check that out. And as always, if you have any questions, anything that we can help you with, let us know. Shoot us an email. Email your instructor. You can email me at mhaugen@roguecc.edu. You can email our department chair, any of the full-time faculty, any of the part-time faculty. We'd all be very, very happy to help you. Good luck. Let us know if we can do anything for you, and have a great day.